Hello everyone, it is Outstar and welcome to Gamesday Wednesday, your favorite Wednesday of Wednesdays. The first news of this week is that it's autumn, the worst time of the year, and they still haven't turned on the radiators in my house, so I'm freaking cold and I'm trying to make my life a little bit happier by wearing super stupid clothes and making videos. Yay! For real though, autumn may be a very bad time for me personally, but it's a very good time for gaming industry. After the long time in the summer where we got all the little scrap of the news, press trying to dig anything slightly interesting from the pile of very minor stuff happening after E3, we are finally reaching the time where we're getting closer to Christmas, there's a lot of stuff releasing, a lot of stuff happening, and the money somehow has to keep rolling in the industry, so it's getting a little bit more interesting. There's a lot of releases coming both this month and next month. October is actually looking extremely good, so I'm really happy to present to you this episode of Gamesday Wednesday with a lot of interesting and hopefully exciting stuff. We're going to start with something though that I shouldn't really call exciting because I think that would be a big faux pas. If you haven't spent the last week under the rock, you probably have heard about the massive layoffs at Telltale Games. The problems in Telltale actually started a long while ago, so for those of you who follow the industry more closely, you have probably heard that the company is not doing that well. Last year in November, the company laid off 25% of their employees after the new CEO gained his position, Pete Hawley from Zynga, and also the previous CEO, Kevin Brunner, had the reputation of a person who was very invasive in the development process. And according to the article by The Verge, which I will link in the description of the video, a lot of employees said that after Kevin Brunner departed from his position of CEO, the atmosphere in the company actually started to get very much better. They were giving a lot more artistic freedom, they could be creative as they couldn't be when Brunner was still in charge. And although that moment when 25% of people were fired out of a sudden was pretty painful, apparently the whole situation was handled properly. They were given the income for the remainder of the year, the whole company got a day off to say goodbye and somehow cope with this whole situation. There was even help with recruitment. So last year's situation of layoffs in Telltale, although very painful and of course unfortunate, was apparently handled okay. But that article is pretty old and I wonder what the whole text in there would be after what happened in the last month. Quoting Emily Grace, who was the narrative designer from Telltale, around 250 people, former Telltale employees, are now jobless. They did not get any kind of severance this time. Their healthcare only lasts for one more week and many former employees were contracts and can't get unemployed. Emily's Twitter feed seems to be a very good source of information of insider view on what happened in Telltale Games. I'm sharing all this information with you because apparently a lot of people are saying that the employees, the former employees of Telltale Games, they should finish The Walking Dead left in a cliffhanger for free. People who were working just days before the layoffs, overnight, crunching for years, should now go back and work for free just to bring this game back to you. Come on! It's a really horrible situation because it's one of the darkest scenarios of the gaming industry. The crunch in Telltale Games was a normal thing. It was brought up to the point that apparently they had unlimited days off, but if you took those days off, your work would be passed to other employees. So you would be considered a dickhead if you did so. And that's why everyone was just staying there working 6 days per week and working overnights. Employees were not at all told about the problems the company had. Of course, they could assume and they could think that something is going on right, but days before the layoffs, they were still working overnights. And these overnight hours, they won't be ever paid. The situation is extremely shitty, but it's not the employees' fault. It's only the fault of the bad management. But it seems like they will actually get some punishment for what they did because one of the employees actually filed a lawsuit, a class action lawsuit for breaking labor laws. Former employee says that layoffs violated federal and state WARN laws, and according to the lawyers around the internet, he has a very big chance to win. So it seems that the former employees of Telltale Games may be able to seek their justice for what happened, but I bet that you guys are more interested on what actually happens with the games and what it means for you as gamers. There is not a definite decision what happens with The Walking Dead. So for those of you who didn't play the last Walking Dead games, there's the final season, which had the episode 2 releasing just very recently after the layoffs, but the season pass of it is not available to purchase both on the GOG.com and in the PlayStation Store because the game's future is up in the air and there's not a certainty whether it will be ever finished. But the official Twitter of Telltale Games tweeted that, "Hi everyone, we have a Walking Dead update for you. Multiple potential partners have stepped forward to express interest in helping to see the final season through to completion. While we can't make any promises today, we are actively working towards a solution that will allow episodes 3 and 4 to be completed and released in some form. In the meantime, episode 2 will release tomorrow across all platforms as planned. We hope to have answers for your other questions soon." Naturally, a lot of people are not very happy with this announcement because they want them to pay the employees first and then actually spend more money on developing the rest of the episodes because honestly, the employees' laws are more important than Clementine. Sorry. But what we are sure of is that the Minecraft story mode, if anyone really cares about it, is going to be finished by the skeleton crew of 25 employees left at Telltale Games just to fulfill their contract with Netflix. The contract with Netflix actually had some other things written down in it, and one of them was the supposed Stranger Things game by Telltale Games that was supposed to release this autumn. Not sure what's the state of the development of that one, but what I know for sure is that Netflix is looking for other ways right now to make the Stranger Things game released and developed by someone else. This actually makes me very happy because I was one of these gamers extremely tired by Telltale's idea of the perfect game, and I would really like to see a proper Stranger Things game done by someone else. So just to get behind this idea of the perfect Telltale game and what does it mean. So back in the days when Telltale got this idea of releasing narrative, story-driven games based on known franchises, they had a lot of problems of monetizing that. Then came the 2012's The Walking Dead, which changed everything. It received awards, it sold in millions of copies around the world, and even the developers themselves were pretty shocked by the success of the game. They probably didn't have much time to finish it, and that's why the upper management didn't have that much power to do changes in the game itself. So the game was left unchanged and very much creatively driven by the lower employees in Telltale Games. That was one of the biggest driving factors of why the game was so good. Unfortunately, soon after The Walking Dead achieved its big success, the situation switched a bit. Kevin Brunner, who was the CEO before the Zynga's SVP came to rule the Telltale Games, got the idea that The Walking Dead was a perfect game and all the other games that they do should follow the same example. So The Walking Dead was put up there as the layout for the game that is supposed to be good, and all the other games, as you guys probably know, Game of Thrones, Minecraft, Tale of the Borderlands, and all the other games were just basing on the same scheme. All the little changes, ideas, fresh things that employees wanted to add into these games were very quickly silenced by the upper management, saying that this worked, so it will work again. That was one of the biggest reasons why Telltale Games has drawn in the stagnancy of doing the same thing all over again, which I think everyone noticed. And don't worry guys, the gamers were not the only people who noticed. Employees were there as well. There's a lot of tweets around the internet right now, especially after the layoffs, saying that they saw this coming, they tried to change it, but there was nothing they could do. People working there were really good. Just to remind you guys, ex-employees of Telltale Games created Firewatch and Oxenfree, for example, and what happened to them was undeserved and unjust. I hope that they will get their justice in the court, and I hope that wherever they land in the future will offer them better working conditions than Telltale did. Talking about Netflix, there's actually something very cool for gamers coming and being in preparation, and that is the animated series set in the universe of Diablo. Netflix is producing an animated Diablo series, and Cosby recently revealed on Twitter that he is in final talks to write the series and be the showrunner. He also said it's very exciting and I hope to the high heavens it all works out. Cosby is the Andrew Cosby who was the writer of the Hellboy reboot. There is no information about what exactly will the animated series entail in terms of the story, but I'm very excited for it and I hope you guys are too. Next, Red Dead Redemption 2 will probably not find its way on PC, for sure not on launch, and most probably not in the future as well. A lot of gamers are very sad about it, but the news sources from all around the world are confirming that this is apparently not a thing that we can hope for. However, our dear, amazing, lovely, beautiful, cute Devolver Digital folks are really trying to help them in that. Let me just quote some tweets that they sent to Rockstar Games. Hello, we'd like to publish your new cowboy game on PC. We're based out of Texas, so we are familiar with horses and chewing tobacco. Also, we own a gun. That last part isn't a threat, just that knowing about guns seems to be a plus for this game. Anywho, DMs are open. Nobody has to know. We can keep this a secret from Take-Two. We know a person at Steam and can set you up with PC dev kits. Like this tweet if you want to talk more. Once again, Devolver Digital steps up. I love these guys. They're just amazing. And next, the Xbox One is getting mouse and keyboard support next month. So Razer is getting an exclusive chance to make official Xbox mice and keyboards, although Xbox officials are saying that most of the keyboards and mice should work on Xbox as well. It means that the developers will have a chance to add the keyboard and mouse support for their games, but by chance they mean that it's going to be optional, so not every game is going to have that. The first game that is being tested for the support is Warframe. So you Warframe players on Xbox, you are actually getting a little hint that you will be able to play it with keyboard and mouse soon. Not sure if it's great, because as much as I remember, Warframe was actually better played with a controller, but still. There's no word on games like Halo Wars 2 and others having the support. Warframe is one of the first titles, and that's the only title mentioned in this announcement. Next, Twitch is now banned in China. Twitch app was officially deleted from the App Store in China, and Twitch itself was being at first blocked geographically in just some regions of China, and then spread around, and now it seems to be blocked everywhere. This is the continuation of what China's government do, and they seem to ban every most popular app that is rising in popularity in China and comes from the West, to prevent the future possible chances of some controversial materials appearing in there. It's a very sad situation for Asian watchers, mostly because the rising popularity of Twitch in the last months arises because of the very huge esport event in Asia that caused a lot of Chinese people to watch it because China brought some gold medals from it. And although Twitch was the only platform that they could watch it on, and Chinese government-controlled TV actually reported about these medals, Twitch still got blocked and is not available to be accessed in China anywhere. It is obviously a big hit for Twitch as a company. It's also a big hit for Valve, which is planning right now to release the Steam version in China. Last but not least, it's time for this week's game highlight. And I want to share with you a game that I actually played yesterday on stream and I finished it. The game I had no idea about before, it just released 6 days ago, and the game is called The Gardens Between. It's available on PC for Steam, Nintendo Switch and PlayStation 4, and it's a single player puzzle game. It's a game about friendship without a single spoken word, and very smart puzzles and really heartwarming visuals and animations. It took me 3 hours to beat it up in full, so keep in mind that the game is pretty short, but it's extremely beautiful, and the main characters were super cute, and I really love the chemistry in between them, although there was no single word spoken. You could feel how they feel about each other, and it was just beautiful. I got stuck on the puzzle once, but that was just because of my own stupidity. The puzzle level is very fair, I would say, not very complicated. Some of the last puzzles seem to be super easy, so if you don't like too easy puzzles, then maybe it's not for you, but if you don't like getting stuck, I'm quite sure that this game is quite manageable puzzle-wise. So yeah, The Gardens Between, a game developed by Australian developer The Voxel Agents, partially sponsored by Australian government. I got the code for this game for free, just a little notice, but I played it and I really liked it, so I hope that you guys will like it as well. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm Outstar and that was the Gamesday Wednesday. I hope to see you tonight on the stream at twitch.tv/Outstar, where we'll be going to do a wrap-up and just some talking and playing games. Thank you so much and see you guys later. Goodbye.